You train consistently, you push intensity, you follow structured programs, yet progress stalls and results do not match effort. The problem is not your discipline. It is that your lifestyle is silently working against your training. Training is only the stimulus, adaptation happens afterward, and that process depends entirely on your internal environment. When sleep is restricted, especially below 6 hours, the body shifts into a state that limits recovery. Muscle protein synthesis, the process responsible for building new muscle tissue, can drop by around 18% under sleep deprivation, while insulin sensitivity declines, meaning nutrients are less effectively directed toward muscle repair and glycogen storage. This creates a mismatch. You are applying a strong stimulus in the gym, but the body lacks the biological capacity to respond. As the National Sleep Foundation states, sleep is essential for recovery, hormonal balance, and physical performance. Without adequate sleep, growth hormone secretion is impaired, testosterone levels can decrease, and cortisol begins to rise, shifting the body toward a more catabolic state. The consequence is subtle at first, but compounds quickly. You feel more fatigued between sessions, strength progression slows, and soreness lingers longer than expected. Over time, this becomes a plateau where effort increases, but results do not. Many interpret this as a need to train harder, adding more volume or intensity, which only increases stress without improving recovery capacity. This leads to a cycle where fatigue accumulates faster than adaptation can occur, effectively canceling out the benefits of your training. The body is not refusing to grow. It is prioritizing survival over adaptation because the environment signals stress, not safety. The solution is precise and non-negotiable. Before adjusting your training, you must stabilize the variables that control recovery. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night with consistent timing. Ensure adequate calorie intake aligned with your goal, and maintain regular meal distribution to support energy availability. This is not optional optimization. It is the baseline requirement for progress. If these conditions are not met, training becomes a stressor without return. If you have been stuck despite consistency, this is where you start. You might think one weak habit will not matter, but lifestyle factors do not act independently. They stack and amplify each other until they override your training stimulus. Poor sleep increases cortisol, psychological stress keeps it elevated, inconsistent nutrition limits, glycogen restoration, and low calorie intake reduces available energy for repair. Each factor alone is manageable, but together they create a physiological environment that favors breakdown over growth. Cortisol in acute situations is useful. It mobilizes energy and supports performance. The problem is chronic elevation. When cortisol remains high, it interferes with muscle protein synthesis, suppresses immune function, and reduces testosterone production. This directly impacts recovery speed and training output. Research consistently shows that a lower testosterone to cortisol ratio is associated with decreased strength gains and impaired adaptation. As stated by the American College of Sports Medicine, recovery is a critical component of performance adaptation, not a passive process. Your body does not separate training stress from life stress. It integrates everything into a single total load. A hard workout on top of poor sleep and high mental stress is not just one stressor. It is a compounded signal that pushes the system toward fatigue. Glycogen, your primary fuel for resistance training, also becomes limited when nutrition is inconsistent, reducing performance in subsequent sessions. This leads to lower training quality, even if effort remains high. Over time, this creates a pattern where you are working hard but producing suboptimal outputs, reinforcing the illusion that more effort is required. The consequence is a gradual decline in performance markers. Strength stagnates, endurance drops, and recovery between sessions becomes incomplete. You may notice increased irritability, disrupted sleep patterns, and persistent soreness. Injury risk also rises because tissues are not fully repaired before being stressed again. The system is overloaded, but not in a productive way. The solution is to manage total stress, not just training variables. Align high-intensity sessions with days where sleep and nutrition are sufficient, reduce unnecessary external stress where possible, and ensure consistent carbohydrate intake to restore glycogen. The goal is to create an internal environment where training stress can be absorbed and converted into adaptation. The issue is not one failure point, it is the interaction of many. Now the cost becomes harder to ignore because this is no longer about slow progress. It is about lost time that cannot be recovered. When you train under poor lifestyle conditions for months or years, the body does not simply pause progress, it adapts in the wrong direction. Chronic under-recovery leads to accumulated fatigue, persistent low-grade inflammation, and a reduced metabolic efficiency. At At the cellular level, mitochondrial function begins to decline, meaning your ability to produce usable energy decreases. This directly affects both performance and recovery. You may still complete workouts, but output drops and the stimulus becomes less effective. Over time, this creates a state where increasing effort produces diminishing returns. Research in exercise physiology shows that markers of inflammation, such as reactive protein, can remain elevated under chronic stress and poor recovery, interfering with muscle repair and adaptation. As highlighted by the European College of Sports Science, performance decline is often linked to an imbalance between load and recovery rather than load alone. Each training session adds stress, but without adequate recovery, that stress is not fully cleared before the next session begins. This creates a stacking effect where fatigue becomes the baseline rather than the exception. The nervous system also becomes affected, reducing neuromuscular efficiency, which limits strength output and coordination. Hormonal disruption compounds this further, with prolonged elevations in cortisol and reductions in anabolic hormones like testosterone and growth hormone. The body is no longer in a position to build, it is trying to maintain function under continuous strain. The consequence is a plateau that feels permanent. Strength does not increase, muscle mass does not change, and fat loss becomes resistant despite continued effort. Many interpret this as a need for more aggressive training or stricter dieting, which only deepens the deficit. This is where frustration peaks, because effort is high, but results are absent. The real loss here is opportunity costs, time spent training without creating adaptation. The solution is recognizing that adaptation requires recovery as a prerequisite, not a bonus. You must reduce accumulated fatigue before expecting progress. This may require temporarily lowering training volume, improving sleep consistency, and increasing calorie intake to restore energy balance. Without this reset, additional effort will continue to produce minimal return. The resolution is direct and it removes confusion. Training is not the foundation of progress, lifestyle is. If sleep, nutrition, and stress are not controlled, training cannot produce adaptation regardless of program quality. The body requires a stable internal environment to convert stimulus into growth. When sleep reaches 7 to 9 hours consistently, hormonal conditions shift in your favor. Growth hormone release increases during deep sleep. Testosterone levels stabilize and cortisol follows a healthier daily rhythm. This creates a biological state where repair and adaptation can occur efficiently. Nutrition reinforces this process. Adequate calorie intake ensures energy availability, while sufficient protein, around 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight, supports muscle protein synthesis. Carbohydrates restore glycogen, directly improving performance in subsequent sessions. As emphasized by the World Health Organization, health behaviors operate together to determine overall outcomes. Training provides the stress. Lifestyle determines whether that stress is productive or destructive. When these variables are aligned, the same workout that previously led to fatigue now leads to adaptation. Strength begins to increase, recovery between sessions improves, and body composition starts to shift. Nothing about the program changed, only the environment in which it operates. This is why many people experience sudden progress after fixing sleep or nutrition, even without altering their training plan. The consequence of applying this correctly is efficiency. You no longer need excessive volume or extreme intensity to force progress. Instead, moderate, well-structured training becomes effective because the body is prepared to respond. Injury risk decreases, consistency improves, and long-term progression becomes sustainable. This is not a short-term fix. It is a system that supports continuous improvement. The solution is simple but requires discipline. Before modifying your training, run a 7-day audit. Track sleep duration and consistency, total calorie intake, protein intake, and daily stress levels. Identify the weakest variable and correct it first. Do not increase training load until these are stable. Your next step is specific. Tonight, set a fixed sleep window and commit to hitting at least 7 hours. This is where real progress begins.